So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Jack.
John.
Dad.
And I'm Ruri, and together we are Until Further Notice.
And we're going to ask them some questions today about their new album. This is Temporary. How do you guys feel about the response to it so far?
I've been very happy with it. Like, it's just like putting it out towards, everybody and seeing, especially certain songs, people latch onto a bunch of different, and I've heard a lot of people have different favorites, and that makes me very happy too.
Yeah,
that's so sick.
Definitely overwhelmed is the word I would use. Good overwhelmed, but overwhelmed in general. I'm like, geez, I didn't I expected it to get a good review, but just because the people have been waiting so long necessarily. But it's been really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't be more excited about the response for it. I mean, we dropped our first album, Tremble, about a year and a half before that. It got a good response, and I mean, we're confident in the music that we're making and all that. But This Is Temporary was so huge. I mean, it took a while. We put a lot of production into it. I mean, we really fine-tuned this album, and I'm super happy that everyone loves it so much.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Rory, do you have anything to add?
Well, no, I'm just happy to be along for the ride, to be honest. I think that it would be wrong for me to say too much about it because I know that Jack, Sadie, and John put in, mountains more of time and work than I did. I put in what I could with my time, but I'd feel wrong to just step in and say, yeah, fucking love this, fucking love it. Especially if I've only been in for such a short space of time, but I can appreciate how much work has gone into it, and it's true. Mountains load of work.
Yeah. But
My personal opinion, he's being overly modest because
Yeah.
he learned all of the music and he did 2 drum tracks, but it's fucking real.
Yeah, and you had the title track, like the pressure of that, and just
Yeah.
coming in during all of this and being adaptable and just amazing enough to give
Well,
us.
they set the pace. That's the thing. Jack and Sadie and John set the pace with the work ethic, especially. All of us know Jack as well as spent a lot of sleepless nights doing post on this. Well, it's all equal effort, but of course, that takes a lot more mental focus sometimes, especially when you're looking at something for so long. And yeah, it was a privilege for me to come in and just comment and then be able to walk away, whereas he was sat with it 24 hours a day. So
Solid.
Props to Jack. I swear.
Thanks.
So wholesome.
So, is there any meaning behind the album name or cover art? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I was just incessant nodding. Yes, This Is Temporary is pretty clear in general, but if you want to dive into it, it's really talking about everything, all experiences and everything, the stuff that you're going through that's hard, the stuff that going through that's good. It's temporary, and I think that's the broad term. But if you wanted to go into more details, I could probably hand that off to Jack or John, something like that.
Yeah, This Is Temporary. As the album title and the cover imply, it's talking about things that are ephemeral, things that don't last forever. And that includes, and I think we don't really touch on too many of the happy moments in life in the album. There are some moments in some of the songs where you can see, they're talking about good moments here. Things like the point of view in Famous People, how it switches there. So if you could listen to that song, you'll hear that they talk about some good things and some bad things, and the way that you can personally interpret different events. But it's really, the theme of it is that if you're going through a hard time, it doesn't last forever, and you can learn something from it. And if you're having a good time, make sure to record it or remember it somehow, because it's not going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Yeah.
Why it's like a Polaroid.
You hit the nail right on the head, dude. Yeah, that's basically it. It's really cool. I really like it because I think we all really, I don't think Rue was in the band at this point, but we were all coming up with the titles together, and so it wasn't even one person came up with it necessarily, or if they did, it was kind of everybody workshopped it at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so the meaning of it was we had a specific want that it represents some experiential domain from just life in general. But it also is abstract enough that you can actually apply it in very narrow circumstances and it still works. So we kind of, I think you see that theme across the album because there's like undertones of it just through the whole thing.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I got you. All right. So a lot of this album was started before we had even released Tremble, our first album. We had already started working on Cat in the Window and Misère d'Amour, and
Misère was almost done. We were going to release it with Tremble.
In fact, when we were finishing the drum recording for Tremble, we actually were going to tack on Misère and try to record it there, or at least get the drum takes. But I think we just, for some reason, couldn't get the right take at that time. So it was like a tack on at the end. But yeah,
it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. The writing process for a lot of the songs was I would have a guitar part that I'd come in with, and I would like show it to them, and then they'd workshop the piece with me, and then Jack and I would start to work out bass and guitar together. And at this point, through most of the first drafts, our previous drummer Dallas was in the room, and he would then start to put drums to it, and we'd kind of workshop that, like, oh, we want this fill here. And by the time we had kind of all coherently started to form the song, Sadie had already written out a verse, 2 verses, a chorus, like and part of the bridge already. Just prolific like that. So, and there are a few. Yeah, you do. Yeah. And there are a few special cases where the process was changed, specifically with famous people, with Misère d'Amour, and with Lies by Omission, and I think Mirror Mirror as well. But generally, once we had that framework, we had pretty much worked out the whole song for all 4 parts beforehand, and then our drummer left. And at that point, we had to apply it completely differently. If you guys want to talk about that, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk a little bit about like we all kind of come up with our parts somewhat individually and then put them together. I mean, when John comes to us with a riff or a whole part, because sometimes it's just a riff for like the verse, and sometimes it's almost a whole song that we then pull apart and mess with. And we can usually get like the first version of a song done in like a day.
Jesus.
But then we spend the next about 3 months messing with the little bits. And
we're
so
like, wait, I didn't like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of backtracking. It's like, oh wait, no, now I don't like that part after this part changed. So
well, and now we have Rue too, who's kind of this when it comes to the drums. So he's like going through the part like 6 times. He's like, no, we have to get it right. So it's like,
yeah, we thought we were detailed, and Rue comes in.
Yeah, absolutely detail oriented.
Yeah, and it was insane because we had the 2 songs that he did pretty much worked out completely, and then we kind of just said, do somewhat what you want. We have notes for certain parts that we want a feeling for, but then he just took it and ran with it. Yeah. It was insane. Like, if you want to talk about that, Rue, like some of the stuff you did, anything you remember from it.
I think basically my take on it coming in is that I thought there's such a nice kind of purity to the drums that were there before, and the sound of the whole band before. Like it felt like very warm, very like sort of youthful. It felt great, but at the same time, I felt that wouldn't be my take on it. I think that I've just got a different energy and a different style. It's definitely harder. There's a lot more sort of depth and power, at least even in the way I tune my drums, everything. So I knew that it was going to change things a little bit, but still trying to stick to simplicity, not trying to overcomplicate things or anything like that, because at the end of the day, I think simple is always better. Not that I would be able to play something fucking crazy, but I think that simple is always better. And trying to incorporate, I don't know, just basic deep hits and I don't know, even like just some Dave Grohl style Nirvana sort of stuff in there, just keep it simple, deep, hard, and try to see if that could give it more power, because that's what I felt it could use to build on. Not that it was lacking much before, but I thought that could definitely be added to it, a bigger atmosphere and resonance, even in simple place, all of it. So
I mean, to add to that, I think you actually pulled us back to the more simple because we were writing some complicated stuff for a while, and then like you were like, well, you don't need to make it this difficult, like we can do this, and then I mean it'll grab more attention even because people can tap their foot to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think that if people can jump and land to it, then there's a way to connect with that. Whereas if it's like a fucking Tool song, then obviously people are trying to hear the beat, trying to hear where it lands, and obviously it's easier, especially if you're up and coming, to kind of get people to latch onto the music if there's a straight beat to it.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, Jack had some pretty complicated groove for Mirror Mirror that I had to sort of emulate into my own style, but at the same time that's kind of complicated bass pattern.
We gotta challenge you a little bit, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually I know. So Jack especially was kind of gung-ho about, especially after Dallas left, we had released our single Happier, and Jack took not only the bass part and the production of that, but he also took the drums for it. And so that was I think that was one of the more first ones that we introduced Rue to. And there was just some weird like stuff in there with just syncopation and throwing things on offbeats that Jack likes doing.
Yeah.
And funny enough, he taught me how to make EDM back in the day, and I put some of that because Mirror Mirror was one of the ones that I had kind of brought to the band, and so I actually there was a lot of stuff I learned from Jack in making the drums for that as well. So
yeah, John wrote some wicked
stuff.
drums for that.
That was fun. That was really fun. It's hard, and Drew made it harder, I swear.
And I was really impressed. I was like, not only did you start with playing exactly what we had written before, but then you embellished on it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You gotta build, put your own thing on it. Otherwise, I'll just become a bit miserable if you're never putting your own flair on it. Within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt this, but John, do you have a sign in the back that just says balls?
No,
I've been looking at it this whole time. I'm very confused. I'm sorry.
Ball sign,
no.
sign.
No. This is you can't see all of it, but most of it is basically my girlfriend asked me to ball. And so this is ball question mark.
Okay.
I don't know if wait. How do fingers work on camera? Okay. There is a dot there. I know you can't see it. It's supposed to be a question mark.
I like it better as balls. I don't know.
Ball sign.
I think he's having a sign in the background.
What do you mean that your girlfriend was asking you to ball though? That still doesn't.
Yeah. So because we had kind of just started dating a little bit, like it was within the last year. It only been a couple months, and she was doing a play. Like she was in theater and everything. And so she came out after one of the theater performances in her whole getup with the sign and a bunch of friends behind her to ask me. And it was still a few weeks out. I didn't know that it was going to be like a big thing I had to plan 2 months in advance. I thought, it was going to be like maybe chocolate roses or whatever. And then like, you want to go to ball kind of thing. Like, but we were already dating. It was also a kind of assumed thing. And so she wanted the pageantry, and it's something I had to learn as well. We celebrate Christmas with ugly sweaters every year now,
As
and
you should.
I was distanced from that a little bit. It wasn't like discouraged in my house. We just never leaned into it, and she did. So it's like I'm being pulled in that direction, but I'm cool with it. I like hot chocolate. I like candy cane. So.
Brought a little bit of social culture into your life right
Exactly,
before the pandemic hit, and you couldn't use any of it. And you can,
Oh my god. Okay, well, good to know that it's not just balls. All right.
It's not better if it was just
It's
balls,
not balls
but-
poster.
Yeah.
I think now you need to put a picture of balls right next to it.
Oh no.
Just drawing in Sharpie on the wall.
it's a soccer ball, a basketball, baseball. You know those cheesy posters. Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
It's
I was talking
metaphorical.
like 2.
Like,
It's really
And one of those
implied.
like net carriers, and it's got like the cinch at the top.
I hate it here. I'm moving on. We're going to the next question.
Sorry, Glory.
So how did the track list for this record come about? Did you guys write the opener to be opener, closer to be closer? Did you just kind of shuffle it around, listen to it a couple times? What was your process for that?
We passed the ball around.
Yeah, we played a game of hot potato. Everybody represented a song, and then when it got to somebody, that's how we picked.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just that is not what happened. So we had all the songs for the album pretty done. Well, they were pretty decided on about a year before it came out, Well, yeah, because we started working right away, right after we released Tremble. And so we had all 12 songs. Well, in particular, we had I Want to Tell You and Cat in the Window and Is There Doing More were like already finished.
Mhm.
And then the rest of them came along fairly quickly. I mean, you know, with our process that we just discussed earlier, like we wrote them all over the course of like a month, and then
Yeah.
we ground on them for like a year. And that's really because, I mean, I don't know how many members of the band, I don't remember, but I know me and John do it, but we kind of write the whole song, like the whole thing comes together first, which is why we spend so long time fine tuning. It's just how we write. But we had all the songs pretty much done. I just lost my mouse.
It's all good.
And then we went based on feel, because unlike Tremble is kind of one story told through the lens of a couple different stories, but it really comes together as one. So it's more of a concept. And then This Is Temporary. We wanted to have the same idea being conveyed the whole time, and we wanted to make sure we ordered the songs in such a way that we were getting the same idea, but we weren't necessarily telling one story. But we wanted all the different stories to come together in a cohesive way. So it's like a bunch of little movies. But yeah, we sat and we discussed that. I think we mulled over the track list for, I mean, we at least mulled over the order of the track listing for a month. But yeah, I mean, because we really wanted to make sure that everything was working together the way that we planned it to, because they're not chronological. Which a lot of people do with telling stories like that.
Solid.
So what song on the album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
I hate this question. Just because of the favorite one, because I'm like that's the worst. I mean, I guess I'll start because I started talking. But I think the longest one that took to write, probably because of how many breaks we took in between it. This Is Temporary, I would say. I think that probably took the longest to write. Or that's kind of hard. Or no, I can't.
What you mean, Untitled 2?
Yeah, right. Untitled 2. No, but
we changed the name like halfway through the process too.
Yeah. I would say probably This Is Temporary. Yeah, Untitled 2, This Is Temporary. Or honestly, like we picked it up and then we put it down for like 3-4 months and then we picked it up again.
If you also remember, Boy Who Cried had a completely different.
Oh, right. Oh my God. We started writing that in 2019, 2018?
Something like that. Yeah.
And then, so actually, that's, I'm sorry. Take back everything I said. But The Boy Who Cried is definitely number one. Because I remember, like, at 4 different occasions, I would come to Jack and John, because Rue wasn't in the band yet. And I was like, this is what I want it to sound like. And then I would just kind of, like, hum it. And then, like, we would figure out a melody and a beat to it. And then we'd come back, like, later and do the same thing again with something like slightly different, but it would still sound really like, so it was a whole long process.
I couldn't get it like for a while, for many months, and so we just kind of had to put it down and pick it back up later, and eventually it was fine. It worked out great. So
but I think, I mean, favorite wise though, it probably have to be, I mean, the ones that get stuck in my head the most, which is like a tie between 3 of them. It's Famous People, The Boy Who Cried, and This Is Temporary. Like, definitely. I think what takes the cake though is probably like Famous People.
Yeah. So if we all got a little bit of different opinions on which one we think is like our favorite song on the album, but personally, I think I'm going with The Boy Who Cried Suicide right now, just because I loved how big it got. I mean, because it started out. As Sad said, it started out like very different. It sounded almost like what song was that? It sounded very much like a My Chemical Romance song from the Black Parade. It was like right. It was like big and it was bold, and we were like, yeah, but it sounds like it could be one of these songs. So I really like the growth that song had. because it sounds completely different than our original version. I wish I had the track. I mean, I would probably post it somewhere and be like, hey, look at what this used to sound like.
Oh no, we
but-
can't post that anywhere because we're using it for another track. You know we are.
Yeah, we got it. But yeah, it definitely sounded like something else, and I like the growth that came with it. And it was the most fun to mix, I think.
Yeah. I personally, I have a very personal connection to Mirror Mirror. And I wrote the verse lyrics on it, and I had the idea for the bass part and the drums and the guitar. I had originally designed it as like a concept thing for just a solo project on like SoundCloud I was messing around with. And it was like, what if I had 3 guitarists and a bassist and a drummer? Like I basically would keep layering stuff on top. And so I had to do the work of consolidating it down to one guitar part. And I was happy to find that I was actually able to do that with that track in particular. I was able to put it down and condense it into one. They're like 4 or 5 note chords at a time, and I'm just cycling back and forth between them, but it's doable. And so I was very happy with not only the way it came together, but it's a very kind of personal message that it conveys. So,
and it didn't even have lyrics at that time yet.
No, it didn't. When I was first releasing it, was like an instrumental. It was totally, yeah.
I think me, if I'm to say it, I would definitely, and this is biased, I would say this is temporary just for the sounds. I still think the sound stands out in comparison to some of the other songs. It could be I don't know what it is, but there definitely is like a sort of atmosphere to that song, which I feel a personal connection to. I just think it's more like I like hard hard rock sort of music. I mean, grew up on like Metallica and Pantera and stuff like that, so not that that's comparable, but I do like that sort of feeling, and I think that it just has this sort of aggressive atmosphere to it that really fires me up as something that I would like to listen to. But then again, I think a song that really is just fantastically put together is The Boy Who Cried Suicide. I think that's just a great overall sort of piece. It has all these peaks and flows and, just a great melody to it and great chorus and pre-chorus. And I think it's pretty hard to beat, to be honest.
Oh, stop it, you.
I guess. Yeah, but I still think for me this is temporary. Just the acoustics of it, it just has a power to it. It's like a rocket ship taking off for me or something. So.
Solid. All right. So can you tell me where Headspace is at while you were creating this record?
I mean,
Ooh, yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about the C word, but well. No, when we all shut down for a year.
That, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What?
That was a lot of the. Yeah. Don't twist this, Ruth. You know. Context clues. You know what I'm talking about.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I think in general.
It definitely inspired the theme pretty heavily. Was thinking about things that like this too shall pass kind of a thing. We all have our hard moments, and it was also a callback to the pop punk and the alt rock that we grew up on. I mean, listen, early 2000s. I mean, you had Paramore, and then you had Fall Out Boy, and you had Panic at the Disco, and they were all pop punk, and it's that sound that we miss, and we're like, hey, let's. There's a lot of nostalgia going around for the way things were, and it's we all find a little bit of comfort in that. So it was really interesting to take those sounds and styles and give an acknowledgement of some darkness that we all share, without directly talking about it, and then acknowledging that, hey, this is temporary. Remember, we had some good times too, and we're gonna have some more good times. So it was that the headspace, I guess, was kind of dark, but holding on to that bit of hope that you can always remember is coming.
Remorseful optimism.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would say
Very good.
So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. All 4. We have to do it.
This is temporary. Ha, I cheated.
Cheap. Give us a different answer.
Redo.
That's a good one.
Redo.
Well,
Yeah, I would say, ooh.
Can I
We
use
all-
a conjunction?
Yeah. A semicolon. Where can I put the semicolon in this?
You
sentence?
ain't.
For me, I go direct. We all love pop punk. Or we love pop punk. Yeah. It's like I feel like there's a lot of different flavors in the album. And so it kind of throws a lot of the elements of that genre in. So
Yeah,
Solid.
it's a good one. It's a good one. I'm gonna need some time.
You have no time.
You still
You're
put
next.
The Jeopardy theme on. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
next.
You're not alone.
That's good.
That's
That's
probably
good.
what.
There you go.
dang.
Yeah. Get it, Jack. I stole your answer, probably.
Get through this.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Damn it! I want to change my answer. Okay. All right, Rue. Pressure's on.
Get after it.
Okay.
Trying to sound like Jocko Willink or something. Just say,
oh yeah.
get up.
Just go for it. You need that, yeah, like looking through your eyebrows, like it's very like
It's almost Kubrick stare, but not quite.
Just need to breathe deeply before you speak.
All right.
Okay. So while
Yeah,
listening
after
through
it.
this album, what band or artist influences pop out the most to you guys?
ooh, a lot of this I think is individual. Like we
Mhm.
all take our own because we write our parts ourselves and then bring it to the band and workshop it. So it's kind of we have this colliding like waves just kind of crashing into each other.
Mhm.
For me, it was the Wonder Years, which is my
Okay.
favorite band of all time. And just all the melodic and like his lyrics are very direct, and so any song I had any lyric ideas for are usually written very direct, even though I have metaphors in there. It's like, and I love the way Sadie writes too off of it. It's freaking amazing. So
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about like the influences for this album in particular, it's a funny topic because we have 5 featured drummers on This Is Temporary, drummers who have never been part of the band, and they were really they were in it for this project, and they all have their slew of drummer influences from. I mean, we got Squirrel Nut Zippers is an influence in there.
yeah, a bunch of surf punk stuff from like Gray, metal from Zach. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of different influences. I would say being the one that produced it and sat on it for a while, I would definitely say the biggest ones that stood out to me were Foo Fighters and Paramore. Just big, not orchestral sound, but big like there should be an orchestra. But yeah, so influences for that. I mean, personally, I definitely draw inspiration from Foo Fighters. So really, Dave Grohl.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, definitely. I would say I kind of leaned more towards the punk genre when inspired by this album, I guess. So Blink-182 is probably one of the big ones for me, and then also Paramore. Very, very a mix of both in a lot of ways. I mean, there was even like, MCR influences because that's like, that's the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely just kind of I couldn't classify This Is Temporary being inspired by one band. I would definitely have to put a list of like 10. I'm like pick and choose which one, but I also agree with my bandmates as well, with Jack and John and Rue, and he's talked about it too. I'm like I completely agree. It's all of those things. But yeah. Rue.
Definitely. Well, it's tricky because I think about all these bands while I'm playing. If that makes sense. If I'm trying to create a certain sound that I like, or at least is always influenced my drumming. People like they're not really that well known now, but like Andrew will know us by the Trail of Dead. Um, Sparta, they're another like sort of early 2000s band, but great drumming and just really kind of important to me. So I think about this when I'm playing, and obviously Queens of the Stone Age, definitely. Just that it's a lot to do with the tuning of the drums there as well. But Foo Fighters, totally, at least early album stuff, for sure. Even My Hero or something like that. Definitely bringing in elements of My Hero into some of the playing. But I think about all those when I'm playing to keep the sound consistent.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. So what is your favorite memory that you guys made while creating this album?
That is a good question.
All the deep thinking faces
That is a
at the
good
same
question.
time.
I know, I'm like just like freeze screen this.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. A lot of my favorite memories when it comes to working on music are things that happen during the creation process. And what was, it's just because it's dear to my heart is when Rory had his first couple practices with us, when he was learning the repertoire and when we introduced him to the songs that he was going to be a part of. There was a lot of I don't want to step on your sound, I don't want to influence it too much, I don't want to change it too much. And then like when he got to the point where he was like, all right, I'm just going to write what I'm going to write. And that was my favorite memory working on the album, was when he came out and showed his art. I mean, because as I said before, we had the collaborators on it, and we basically told them, we're like, here is the track without any drums. Let's see what you write. And then, of course, we had conversations with them afterwards, and we had some more practices, and we fine-tuned what was going on. We let them know a little bit of what we wanted to hear, but it was always that, here, just give it to us. But Rurid had just met us. He was going to college, and he's like, hey, and we're like, hey, we like you after you auditioned. And like, we want to hear your style on this. And it was really cool to watch him open up and work on the album with us.
You made me sound like a Blink-182 lyric, like, going to college, I like you guys.
Yes.
Play your band.
Let's play.
Very
yeah. Well, that's how it was. And I'm flattered that you say that, for sure.
Very wholesome.
Yeah, very wholesome.
Yeah. And I will say, one of my favorite memories is also around Rue coming in, but it's not I guess necessarily directly attached to This Is Temper. It's more getting the new drummer. So but it was first, I think it was because we were doing songs with all these different drummers. We had kind of already started working with different ones. We had 2 songs that were already with our previous drummer, and then I think Jack and I had already shot ideas back and forth about 3 Day High's drum part, and I think we had already met with like Zach Demo at one point. And then it was having Rue come in after hearing all those different sounds, and we had kind of got a lot of time to think about what does our music sound like with different drumming. And then Rue comes in, and Jack and I just start playing one of our old songs, Missing Out, and Rue's just jamming to it. And there was something so solid and so powerful about the way that he played. I actually think I still have the video of him playing it in his mask when we were, not allowed to like interact really, on that level. So it was insane, because I had never heard somebody play drums like that in person in particular. And so for me, it was having that one of those first practices where we were working stuff out and just hearing his sound and being like, that, I love how that makes our stuff sound. Like taking that old track and hearing it in that completely new light is freaking awesome. And so it got me super psyched to work on the other 2 songs that we had him work on. And I cannot wait to work on more. We already have a couple that we've been like cycling back and forth. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Solid.
Well, I think you guys went with like the wholesome answers, and I was gonna pick a funny one.
Yeah, you can pick a funny one.
So we were invited to help out with a film project that Rurid's class was working on. And during the filming of it, there's this scene where she's like, the character is with her dad on the phone with the nurses, and she says, "No, Dad, please stop." And it was just really funny. And we actually named a group chat that for a while. And we just kind of kept bouncing that back and forth. I think that's one of my favorite parts about sort of
little inside
working on the
jokes.
album, like
It-
in
it
between
just-
it. Yeah.
It'd be the end of every sentence. Like if we're like, "Oh, Dad, please stop." No, Daddy, please.
So yeah, I think that's my favorite, like, pinpoint. This is good.
Oh,
We can be friends with this guy.
mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like the funny memories too. I like well, I'll go for funny and a bit of sentimental, but I like
Mhm.
we went in the hot tub one night. Yeah, it was after practice. We all did, and they have a hot tub outside their house. And obviously, coming from Scotland, this is a rarity,
Mhm.
and I'll absolutely use it. And John and I decided to make a slow motion video of us like a pair of humpback whales, like hunting for krill.
Mhm.
It's playing in my head.
And
Just splashing into
the
the
video is pretty sick. We got this great. It was like this constant. We were moving in a pod
Mhm. Mhm.
together. It was good. You'd have to be there.
I slammed my head onto the step during that take too, but it was the
Oh.
perfect take.
And John
Okay.
did a giant leap out of the water and smashed in.
Oh, man.
But I think more is just having a laugh, because I came, obviously I've got a bit of family in California, but not many friends, and it was kind of nice to do something creative and fun, and that wasn't too heavy, even though it's like hard work, and obviously I'd be pretty tired, like, driving and playing and then drive, but afterwards I'd always feel great, because I'd be driving on the freeway back to San Francisco for maybe an hour, and I'd just be like, sort of mulling over everything that had just happened over the practice, and it all started to sink in of like how it's quite special what you're doing here. So that was nice, and all the sort of like worries of stuff before, like worrying how it just disappears, and you realize that you're actually living a great moment. No matter what happens, it's it's pretty great to experience this and play together and make some great memories, to be honest.
It's very
Been pulling on
wholesome.
my heartstrings, Rue.
Yeah.
Very wholesome.
Good.
Let
All
him
right.
go.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
I
Okay.
guess.
Can't
So we're
wait.
going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
With a drink. Is the drink already determined?
No,
No,
you're
you're picking that
you're
shit.
telling us the drink. Yeah.
So
Picking
I'm
the
on
food
death
and the
row.
drink.
Oh, I haven't decided exactly what kind, but I'm definitely getting sushi.
Okay.
Okay.
Sushi and green tea.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Very good.
choice.
Very good.
It's peaceful.
Yeah. Dang it! I'm pescatarian. You took my fish answer. All right,
I'm sorry.
You could both have fish
You guys
answers.
can both have
No,
fish
no.
answers. It's
I mean,
okay.
like, I'll definitely have seafood in it. I'm not gonna step back. I need my protein.
You're like, I'm having ribs.
Before I die. But yeah, I would. I don't know if it's just because I'm craving it now, but I'm just imagining like homemade shell pasta, macaroni and cheese with like green onion on the top, and probably like cut up pieces of shrimp in it. And then for a drink, that's like somewhat of a classy entree, and I'd have kind of like just a $2 soda, but it's called Sangria Señorial, which is basically non-alcoholic sangria, and it's delicious. I cannot. If I could have one drink, it would be that. I love that soda. So.
All right.
Really get that.
Rue, you go and I'll go after you. That's the inspiration.
I'd have a big pepperoni pizza, a really good one, probably from this place in San Francisco called I think it's called Slice of New York, actually, even though it's in San Francisco, but it's like a single place.
Interesting.
Get a big one of those, and I'd have a pint of Guinness as well. I'm the lightweight champion of the world. I don't really drink, but I love Guinness when I have it, and I think that'd be fitting. I'd like to be a bit shit-faced before I, buy the farm. That'd be good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Moment of truth. I think. Well, I wanted to say sushi, and I think that might be it. But I was thinking of like all you can eat buffet sushi,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then
Okay.
probably right. I'm like, and then probably oh my gosh, what was that? It was a Bahama Mama, and I had it for the first time at Applebee's like last week, and it had Captain Morgan in it. It was the most delicious thing I'd ever tasted, and it's alcoholic, so you're not alone there, Rue. I would probably get some alcohol before I die too.
Perfect.
That's fair.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
One fiction world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hide all my anime posters now.
My first reaction is Pokemon. My
Ooh,
first
okay.
reaction.
Yes, that's a good one.
I
Good.
want to capture a Growlithe and love it and just hug it because it's so cuddly.
I
For
get that.
1 week. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pokemon's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you all going to Pokemon World? I don't know what it's called.
No, no, but it is a good honorable mention.
If I only have to be there for no, I can't even do that. I was gonna say if I only have to be there for a week, I'll go to Dead by Daylight. But no, I'd be a survivor, and that would just be
skills.
awful. That would be
Yeah.
awful. No, but I'd probably go
Why
with
can't
Pokemon.
I loop you? Okay.
Yeah, Pokemon would be heck of fun.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Or Full Metal Alchemist.
Ooh, okay.
The world that exists in. That would
Yes.
also be extremely fun.
Solid.
Probably, probably Lord of the Rings or something like that. Yeah, Lord of
That's
the Rings,
good.
Middle Earth. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That'd be-
Yeah,
That'd be
for
cool.
a couple of days anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mhm.
See, I might have said something like that, but there's a lot of scary magic in that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be fun.
Oh, I have another good answer, but go ahead, Sadie, in case you say
No,
it.
I just keep thinking like, cause like I didn't think about the live action fictional universes,
Mhm.
but I think in general, like I would want to stay away from like the big like scary superhero stuff like DC and Marvel, because you could die at like
Mhm.
any second, dude.
Mhm.
Like you are a side character in that freaking
Mhm.
universe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know, but I think I'd probably join the Haikyuu universe. That's my comfort anime, and
That's good.
I just want to watch my boys in real life play volleyball.
Yeah, I do want to amend my answer. I want to be in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, what's your
What? Not
element?
Pokemon?
Oh, absolutely Earth. I am
Earth?
definitely an
Oh.
Earthbender in personality and just I don't know. It just for some reason it fits.
Dude, that fits
Fair.
because you're literally a Virgo too.
That yeah.
Wait,
Perfect.
you're a Virgo as well, are you?
Well, yeah. Yes, we are the same.
Yeah.
But
We
we
have two
actually said on a
Virgos,
podcast
Leo
when you
and a
weren't
Libra.
there. UFN is half Virgo.
Mhm.
So and Jack
Unfortunately.
immediately said no.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're a Virgo too.
Oh my god, you're a Virgo.
Wait, when's your birthday, John?
What is today? It's in 3 days.
Yeah.
Happy early
Oh, happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Rue's birthday today.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh my
birthday.
god.
Yeah, we're like, hey, we're doing an interview on your birthday, by the way. Just letting you know.
Fun.
Great.
Just don't work
Thumbnail
on
needs to have him with a little like photoshopped birthday hat
Yeah,
on.
birthday hat. Yeah.
It's way too much editing. We don't have the budget for that. I'm sorry.
We don't. We don't.
Oh, good. She's like a really bad photo editor.
We don't have the budget for that either.
It's got the
Mm-mm.
background in it that you like
Yeah,
hand cut
the
out.
transparent like background to it.
Yeah.
Right.
We might have the budget for that. We'll have to
We
see.
might. We might.
Might
Yeah.
have
There you go. There you
Have to scrape the PayPal.
It still
God.
says Shutterstock on it.
We can't afford
It's a
it.
charm.
There you go.
It's the best I can do.
I think that's better than the Photoshop.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
That
We
is
don't
way
know-
better than I could do.
Oh, there you go.
Goodness.
Very good.
Is that you in the back?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's me and Buffalo. Me and
Oh my
Buffalo
God.
Bill. Oh
love that.
yeah. Me and Buffalo Bill go way back. Oh.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
This
Stop
went,
it now.
this went
It'll get
chaos.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
worse.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, man.
Well, I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
Oh.
What is your favorite color?
That is the most important question. I'll
It
start
is.
black.
Black. Good color.
Mhm. I'll go with a simple because there's a complex answer and a simple one. Orange.
Orange.
There you go. Navy blue.
Ooh, navy blue. Good.
Orange.
Orange. Okay,
Alright.
solid.
They're both
Yes.
going with the simple answers because they're super
God.
complicated.
Yeah.
I agree. That is a very important question. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you guys would like to plug?
Our band.
Go for
Yeah.
it. Go
Everything
for
we
it.
do.
Yeah, so we're UFN, also known as Until Further Notice. You can find us anywhere on social media as UFN Music or UFN Music_official on Instagram. And yeah, we do streams on Saturday and every third and first Wednesday. We do a live at 5 on Twitch. And we also have a Patreon subscription that you can get an hour of our practice where we will learn new songs or just jam or whatever. So yeah, that. Yeah.
Twitch on Saturdays for gaming. Twitch on Wednesdays for live show.
All right.
And, also,
We all have Instagrams and everything, so
we're in the running for playing at Hollywood Bowl, though, and we need votes. We actually
Yeah.
need votes to be able to play there. So you can find a link on the UFN page. Am I correct, guys?
yeah, it's,
This is
Yeah.
it's
true.
on
Yeah.
Fat
There should
People.
be
You have a
links
Facebook
On
account.
the website, the Facebook, the everything.
Yeah. You just click on it. It takes 3 seconds if you've got Facebook. Done, one and done, and it's free. And you
Yep.
can do
Yeah.
it once a day. Or
You can vote
twice.
more, but after the first one, it's not free, so don't feel pressured to do that.
Voting ends on September 30th. So those of you
Yeah.
watching after September 30th, 2021, disregard.
Quite
Yeah.
close. Quite close. It could happen. It could actually happen.
Yeah, we're in 4th position right now. There's only
Third.
another 5 rounds to go.
Yeah.
We're in third.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in
we
third
were in
now.
fourth for
Ha,
a while.
we
We got
were-
bumped up
congratulations.
recently. Yeah.
I'm like, hold on, we're in third. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
is only the first round, so we have like 2
Yeah.
more rounds to go until we get to the tippy top.
Good luck, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for now, guys. It's been Until Further Notice, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.